And those are first responders. Those people come at the first call, and it doesn't matter what the address is or what the problem is, they still come. Well, sometimes we forget that. First
Cool.
responders are pretty darn important in our lives.
And they don't get the thanks they deserve.
They never
No,
do.
usually not.
No, they don't.
No.
Things are going to change.
No, they'll complain about the fire department took too long, or the ambulance was
Yeah.
late, or the fireman gave you, the policeman gave you a ticket or whatever. But you know what? We have a job, they have a job, we have a living, they have a living. But I have to thank them for what they do, and I honestly believe, right is right, wrong is wrong. But
Yeah.
you're right on the money. And tell you, folks, you can make simple ink pens and make a ton of points in your own heart by giving away those ink pens to first responders, to the military, the acting
Yep.
military. You bump into a troop that's on at lunch in his uniform, whatever. Treat them to a drink, soft drink. Please don't drunk up our troops. But take the opportunity. We get that every day. We get that opportunity. Let's seize it and make good of it. Really, I love to see when we do those kinds of things. We don't talk about that a lot. Doug Rowe pop in later on. We don't know how we'll be dressed, and that really bothers me. But when this club was formed 5.5 years ago or so, Doug was one of the first members. In fact, he was one of the founders with me that we put this together and thought, what can we do to expand wood turning and polish out wood turning and show people what we do and how we do it? And we developed Freedom Pens, or expanded Freedom Pens. And we don't talk about that very much anymore, folks, but that's a project that should never go away. And if you remember, it is where you, a regular, ordinary, everyday citizen of wherever you are, turn an ink pen and then you donate it to a serving troop in your area. Gee, doesn't this sound simple? You just go to your shop and do something you love, and what you come out with, you give away to someone who protects your freedom. And isn't that a simple task?
And if you don't know who to contact at that base or that post,
Tennessee.
get hold of the chaplain. The chaplain will help you out immensely.
Yeah.
We have
And we've got
contacts.
we got
We
we
have,
got 4
You can
points
go-
of contacts for it.
you can go to the world's greatest website on wood turning. I know the guy personally that runs it, and he's got links on there for that.
Good.
He's sitting over there right now saying, yeah, I got links. Dave Rose got links. Yes, we do that. But if you do, it's a simple thing. You do one pen, you can do a dozen pens. And how do they have to be? Just think that they're an ink pen they put in their pocket and they use to write notes home or work or anyplace else. And they're just like you and I. They have a life, but their life is serving you. And it takes a minute, just a minute, spin a pen, any kit you want to use. And we don't have a contact where we're going to send you blanks and refills and all that. We don't have that put together because we don't have the funding to go back to that. But if you look at what it involves and what it takes, it is a brain dead, simple task that you're thanking the people to protect their freedom. And if you don't like the military part of this for some reason whatsoever, go to a first responder. Go to your medical clinic. Go to your halfway house. Go to support groups. Find someone that works for the benefit of your neighborhood, your community, your social life. Find someone who benefits from it and thank them with a simple ink pen. Because Freedom Pen isn't just about freedom. It's about thanking somebody for what they do. Boom, take a minute and do it. It really, really makes a difference. It's not a hard. And this is not a paid endorsement. This is the God's truth. I have turned, honestly, over 10,000 pens. And I've got the documentation for it. When Sarge Joe Kelly ran Freedom Pens of Louisiana. I personally gave him 10,000 ink pens over a course of almost 20 years. That's how long it took me, but that's what it did. And I had pens donated to me, kits donated to me. I bought them. We did it, and it was a major project. And for me to give Doc, Sarge, 100 pens a month in a meeting was just common fare. And it was just because I was there. I did what these people are doing. I'm looking at veterans right now. I know you did what they're doing. Wouldn't you like a little thank you? Wouldn't you? Think about it. That's all. Just think about it. It's worthwhile. It's a worthwhile trip. You know what? You got to do some good. Hey, if you folks been hanging around a while, you know we got Level Up coming up. Level Up is coming up. You see that? Oh, blend in there. See that? Yeah. It's not that far away, folks. We get a lot of questions about it, and we're answering those questions. Level Up. We have committee meetings that put things together. We look at what's going on. We look at everything going on. We're not going down a dirt trail to get to Wisconsin to have this. We're building right away, right on down an interstate highway to Wisconsin to get right there and be there to have a great time wood turning with friends. And I got a call the other day from a guy that said, what makes this different than AAW or SWAT or a club event or such? Yeah, well, let me tell you the difference. And this difference came about, and I'm looking at the faces right now, the people that made it happen, and y'all who you are. This came from a group of wood turners that didn't want to be put up with the pomp and circumstance of you have to go in a room, be quiet, sit down, take a seat, and don't say anything, and do not disturb the and leave this, and just no. Yeah, I didn't want to go to that. Do you want to go to that? I did that in 5th grade. I was tired of it. So I want to go in a room where I can learn something and see something and see it and touch it. I mean, touch it. I can go up and say, how you did that? Move over, Billy. Move, get out the way. And actually turn. And then as I'm doing this, say, no, Duxbury, get away. This is mine. Because I want to do this. And I am doing this. And I can, when I get done, say, but I want to engrave this and carve it out. Well, I'll just go over and meet with Matt or somebody else, and they'll show me a little bit of carving and embellishment and all this stuff. I'll get to do all that. That's what Level Up has. Nobody else has got that. If they do, we hadn't found it yet. But that's what we're doing. We're doing an extremely unique type of wood turning event. There we go. It's a wood turning event, and you can be part of it. Now, registration will open up in fall. It's a money thing, okay? But hotels are available, and that information is where? I got to point at one guy, Dave Rhodes, holding out on you. If you don't know, Dave Rhodes has all this stuff. He's got every bit of it. On the top of the website, there's a little thing called Level Up. On the top bar, if you click on that, you're right there in this box. And you know what's happening. Every time we develop something, it goes right there. There's no, I wonder if we got to go to this or that. No, it's there. It's in front of everybody. All the details. And if you want to add something, you can do it. If you want to contact us, it tells you how to talk to us. If you want to get in, you want to get out, whatever, is all right there. Because what? It's your wood turning experience. There's not another one like it in the whole world. It's coming up September 2026, and you need to be there. You really do. Make plans, gas up the truck, pack the bags, get the dogs. We're all gone. Yeah. And more details are coming. Every time we do something, we keep you updated. There's no secret missions or secret affairs. And every time we come up with something great, it goes in the pile. We ain't holding back, folks. I tell you, we ain't. You know what makes me feel really good about this? When I sit with this dozen or 2 dozen people, and these are members. It's not a corporation. It's not paid folks. We don't have them. a moderator or whatever. No. These are members, all working as members. When we get together, I'm so pumped up I can push the car down the block. Because this is what we do. We're sharing good term. Get on board. Level up. Don't miss it. So, are we going to do a little gallery tonight, Dane?
Yeah, I believe so.
Who's
a
got
few
stuff to show?
popping in? So let's go to the top of
Somebody
the
said,
list.
how do
and
you
go
do that,
across
huh?
the pond. Go over and see what Wayne's been doing. He hasn't been here for a while. Hey, Wayne, you're muted.
Oh, I'm
There you are.
unmuted now. A couple of older pieces here. Probably people know that I haven't turned anything for a little while, but this is one of my marble pieces.
Oh,
That
that's
is
pretty.
beautiful.
This was done with a background of paint and then the marble effect done with feathers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Done with
With
what?
feathers?
To get a bit of depth. And the next piece is, I really like this one. This is a piece of oak burr or burl, as you see in the States. Natural edge.
Ooh.
Whoa, wow.
Oh,
That's something.
Gorgeous.
And the rim has been burnt with a blowtorch. And I've actually finished the bottom of this one.
It
How
looks
about that?
That's pretty. That's
really
pretty nice.
So that's
Lovely piece.
a couple of pieces that I've done over the past couple of few years. I will be getting back into the workshop in the near future for some new stuff. But that's me for the moment, Dean. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you, Wayne. That's nice.
Let's
nice.
see Dale. See what he's doing.
Okay, first I got this little natural edge piece of maple that I did recently.
Pretty. That's pretty.
Yeah, and it's just got a little beeswax on it that I buffed by hand because it's a little tough. I don't have a buffing system and it's a little tough to buff something like this on the lathe. And then I made an urn. I don't know if my nephew's going to want to put his mother in it, which is my sister-in-law, or not, but
Oh, that's
Very-
nice.
It's very nice.
I like
This is-
that.
that's out of maple, and I used apple green dye.
There you go.
It's like an
Kind of-
inversion of the
Looks
traditional
good, Dale.
shape, so I like it.
And all the embellishing there is because the maple, when I got it, I didn't get it properly sealed, so it had quite a few cracks in it. So the embellishing's to hide all the cracks.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Great
Way to
job.
cover it up.
Looks like it worked.
How does
Yeah,
it
How's
open?
your,
I
how's your
filled
connection?
Yeah. I filled them with, filled the cracks with glue, but I didn't have any CA glue, so I just used wood glue, but then to hide them, I embellished it.
How does it open, Dale? Oh, nice. Pop fit.
Yep. Pop fit with a tenon.
Nice. I like
Good
it.
job, Dale.
Now, can I
Great.
ask you a question? Okay, I see people do this all the time. I've made one urn. Now, let me ask you, what in the back of your mind did you do that it's not going to crack? I mean, what I've done with the one thing that I've done is I cut like 6-inch by 1.5 inch slabs, and I let them dry. And then I would glue 2 together at a time. That's how I did the one that I did. And to me, that would maybe what would be the word, a more guaranteed chance that it will not crack. I mean, I've got so many things. Like I goofed around one time. I was making a vases and I was putting zippers on. And I put a zipper on one, and here about 6 months later, after that, it cracked 1/4 inch away from the zipper.
Mm.
I mean, how do you think? I'm asking everybody in general. You know, is there? I mean, I know about making it thin and everything like that, but is there something else?
Well,
You
I
gotta
think
make
one
it,
of the
you
big,
gotta, go ahead,
I was
Jeff.
gonna say, one of the things that I've always felt is you got to make sure that the walls and the top of it are all uniform thickness, the same all the way through.
Right, right.
I
Little
think that
things can
helps a
happen.
lot. I think a lot of it has to do with the environment it's in too. If you've got an environment where humidity is changing to dry back and forth quite a bit, that can cause problems. Um, I've made a few that I've turned, and I've not had a problem with them.
Mhm.
Segmentine is another way to go because you generally don't have a problem with it that way. But it's
Yeah.
the same rules apply. You got to have uniform thickness.
Mhm. Right.
Yep, and you
Rain
can't leave
direction.
any part of it too thick either.
No,
So less than say half an inch or less than say 3/8 of an inch thick.
right.
And if you can retard the drying, make it dry slower, then you have a better chance. Like put it
Right.
in a paper bag or something, or put it in shavings or something. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I mean, an urn to me is something that's the last thing you would want to happen to it.
Right.
And so
No,
I
that's your
just
one piece you want to be pristine forever.
you know
Yeah. Well, this,
so I've turned a lot of vases and vessels and hollow forms and stuff, and if you get it thin enough, if you get it less than half-inch thick and uniformly, including the bottom, even if the pith is right through the middle, I get less than 5% crack, and all my stuff is all outside mostly. It's out in my shop with access to the outside. So, sometimes
yeah.
I've done the microwave drying too, but it is just, getting it uniformly thin is a big part of it.
Yeah. Well, then you have to think about warping and a lot of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of
Well,
things.
again, uniform thinness, and if the pith is right through the middle, then your warping is going to be uniform. So, I mean, some woods warp more than others, of course. Like willow warps like crazy. So
Mhm.
Yeah. That's the other thing too, is you can't control where it's going to, the environment it's going to be in.
Right.
And that's always in the back of my mind when I sell a vase or something like that. But I've not had any complaints on anything I've sold. I've not had a vase crack on me. So, but my rule of thumb is always a 1/4 inch wall all the way through. Urn, I'll go a little bit thicker, just because of the fact that it's storing something. But yeah, I've never had a complaint or anything.
yeah, don't put your piece in the sun, either inside or outside.
Oh yeah, yeah. I tell people that with any wooden piece that I've made of any kind. Yep.
Hello,
The
hello.
other thing too
Can I
is just
talk
like a
with
bowl where you rough turn it and let it sit for a period of time. It would be the same for that.
Hello.
Yep.
Could I answer part of that? It could be the humidity that you have in the room that you're storing the vessel or whatever you're turned. The humidity has a lot to do with it. If it's too dry, it's going to crack.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good question. Something we all deal with.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever used silica gel to dry wood?
I don't
Some
know.
some of us have. I know people who have. I personally, when I'm really cranking, I use a microwave oven. So
I use silica fairly regularly. And what I do is I have a 5-gallon bucket with indicating silica gel. I'll turn a piece usually to about 3/4 of an inch thickness. The rule of thumb is anything under an inch, the silica is going to be able to dry. And just like rough turning a bowl, you want 1/10 of the width of the piece for the thickness of the walls, up to an inch to go into silica gel. If it's a hollow form, I fill it with gel and then bury it in the bucket surrounded with gel. And I will go back about 12 to 16 hours later, dump it out, and put fresh gel from outside into it. And it changed. The gel I have is blue and changes color to pink as it absorbs moisture. So you can tell what's drier than what. So I'll backfill it with fresh gel, bury it again, stir it all up, kind of mix it around. And I've had very, very good results with minimal warping and minimal cracking most of the time. I'd say 85% of the time, it's a really good method. As long as you've got 3 to 5 days to let it go through the process and dry.
Okay. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I've had a couple times where I've been in a hurry. I had to get a bowl done in a matter of a couple days, and I'm starting from a log, and I actually put it in a rough turn it and put it in a food dehydrator for 24 hours. And that's done the trick. It gets it down to about 8%.
How about that?
Yeah.
Put it on your smoker. There's various different.
I've seen lots of people do that. Yep.
Kitty litter works.
Mm-hmm.
Just use a scale to measure your weight loss. Good discussion. All right, let's go see what Mr. Dewey's got.
If you remember last week, I showed you a decanter that I turned and put black ink on and then put red paint on. Well, I went ahead and did some.
Wow.
This is of
Wow.
Wow.
That's pretty.
this is epoxy. This is what they call shaded epoxy. Basically, you take epoxy and you add a little bit of black dye to it. This has had 3 coats of it on.
That's beautiful, Dewey.
That is beautiful. Yeah, that's gorgeous.
And you can, when you turned it, I could see the red undertones behind.
Still can.
Yeah,
Right.
Yep.
it's great.
Yeah, that was the intent, to be able to see the red under, and it's got a little lid that goes on. But I am not finished with this. Next step is I'm going to decorate it, and then we've got to put the handle and the spout on it, and then this is the third item that I've coated it with. First off with black ink, then red acrylic paint, and now with 3 coats of the epoxy. And so we'll
Because of the
continue.
color, I'd call that black cherry.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, yeah.
We will
Beautiful.
continue on, and whenever I get it to the point of getting ready to decorate, I'll put it back in front of everybody again.
Oh.
But
Don't
Great.
take it to the place where you lost the vase. Don't. I said don't take it to the place where you sold the vase.
oh no. I don't sell stuff. I just keep
No,
it.
you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Keep it for admiring, So, but anyway,
That
That's-
is beautiful.
that's
That
that
is
was it's a
awesome.
continuing story, folks. So maybe by
Outstanding.
July 4th.
Beautiful.
All right, thanks, Dewey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. Beautiful.
All right, Al, what you got?
Again, I don't know how you would put any price on that, for sure. This, I'll show it this way. It's a little goblet. I've been carving and sanding for 2 days, and
It looks good, Al.
Real
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
I like
I
it.
like
Yes.
a little off.
What kind of wood is that?
I think it's cherry. I've all this time I've been thinking cherry, but I don't think maybe it is cherry. But I don't like the way the top was like. I'm not sure. I'm gonna say cherry. But
Looks
What's
like
your
cherry.
finish?
I only got 1 coat today. We were talking earlier about lacquer, and that's what I've got. I think 4 coats on it from yesterday, and 1 today. But I don't think I'm gonna mess with lacquer anymore. It's really my whole insides. I feel a mess.
Huh.
But I think it turned out pretty nice. Carving's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
Very nice.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But
Nice piece.
yeah,
Looks
it was
good.
like this, and I just kept moving around with it, you know. But yeah, I mean, making the things that we all talked about a month or so ago to hold and everything. Yeah, everything came into play. So
Oh, it's nice. Good, nice work. Nice piece.
I love that idea.
a lot of it comes from here. Everybody have a good night. Everybody be good.
All right, thank
You-
you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Mr. Ross. Hey, Brent.
Hey, thank you. This is the first time I've been able to do this. Actually, this is my second meeting back with you. I've been in the hospital for 6 weeks and not able to turn. So this last
Glad
week
you're back.
I got out and I really pressed it hard. I lost a little energy doing it, but still got through. So first thing I'm going to show you, I love to do layered pieces with different layered wood. I don't know how this focuses on this camera. There we go.
Ooh, that's
go.
pretty.
Yeah,
That's
hold it in front of you.
And
Wow.
so
Beautiful.
this is just a piece of maple in the center with mahogany on either side.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I used to do a lot of jewelry boxes, and so I've got a whole ton of flat wood left over, and so I decided to do a lot of layered pieces, and they're kind of fun to do.
What's your
so
finish?
This is lacquer. I generally do 3 coats of lacquer, spray lacquer, rattle can lacquer, and I find that to be adequate for what I want it to be done. And mostly they get displayed in the house, so that's a few times we give away to friends, but that mostly just in the house. So, and I love to do the hollow forms. The hollow forms are so much fun to do.
Yes,
Oh,
they
yeah.
are.
You know,
Yeah.
so the second piece I have is a piece of olive wood, a chunk of olive wood. Olive grows naturally here in our valley.
Oh, man.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
And so
That's
this
gorgeous.
is just a piece of. Oh, now I know what's going on. I blurred the background. That's what my problem is. I'll have to
Right.
change that next time. So I like this because the heartwood all came through the top part of it, and the sapwood's down here at the bottom.
Oh, that
Yeah.
looked
So
that great.
it almost looks like 2 pieces of wood, different wood, but it is one solid piece of wood.
Yeah,
I'm
our
telling
desert olive wood is
Just-
beautiful out here.
So it's a layered effect.
It's a layered effect. You got it right.
Beautiful.
But it's just a bud vase for artificial flowers, not for anything with water, of course. But and again, just about 3 coats of rattle can lacquer on it is all. Before I do that, I do the Hampshire Sheen the wax kind of pre-finish.
Yes.
And I use that down underneath of it, and I find that the lacquer really adheres quite well to that and levels it out quite well as well. So I've been using that mostly as a base. So anyhow, those are what I have to do. I'll have more next time. I'm excited about spending more and more time in my shop.
Great to have you back.
I got a great shop here, so I need to use it more than what I'm using it.
We're going to
All
hold
right.
you to it,
Yep.
Brent.
I will. When
All
I
right, now.
get feeling a little bit better, I'll let you know when I want to do a demo.
Oh, great. Sounds good, buddy. I
Awesome.
appreciate it. All right, let's go to Mr. Roger. Hey, Raj.
All right. I decided I would try something. I've never used a Dux chuck before, so I made one. But my problem is my tenon broke.
Oh, no.
So now I have to cut this off and reglue it. But I'm trying doing a offset segmented bowl.
Oh,
Yeah.
it looks
Yeah.
good.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the rim that you did. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I like that rim.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
This is hickory. But so now I got to figure out how to put a tenon back on it and then get it lined back up to where it's the same offset
Uh-oh.
because I didn't have any markings on it.
Mm.
So hey, Roger, how thick were your segments?
Well, I turn them down to 3/4. They're a little over an inch when I make the ring.
Then I flatten and sand them smooth. And
Roger, do you have a set of coal jaws?
yes,
Okay, because you could set the coal jaws on the outer edge.
oh, that's
of the
not the problem. It's the offset, getting it lined back up.
Well, you could set the coal jaws and expand them outward on the inside of that.
Well, I don't know.
You could also change where the little nubs are. You don't have to put them all in the same
I know.
concentric row, and you could figure it out or get close. That's
I
a great
like-
idea, Ruby.
That
I
or a
like what
jam
you
chuck.
said. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yep.
I guess that's the reason I pay her the big bucks, huh?
I just thought it'd be something different, a segmented offset.
It is. That is different.
Yeah.
That's very different. That's why
Do
I
you-
asked you where your right hand is. Now, how thick was that wood right there? That top segment. Your right hand. Well, what you were just
Mean
holding
this way?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, that's a segment from the outside in, isn't it?
Well, the bottom one was 2 inches, and this one's inch and 3/4.
That's what I meant. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Do you have a center point on your tenon that broke?
What's that?
Do you have a center point on the tenon that broke?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Why don't you just put it against a flat coal jaw without the jaws closing and use your center point, and you can cut that tenon off and glue another one on.
I don't know. I'll figure it out. I got time.
That's half
Just
the
a
fun
thought.
of it.
Just a thought.
Actually, my offset is too much. I'm gonna have to move it back from where I had it. I'll leave this side the same thickness, but I need to lose some of this. So
Look forward to seeing the final result.
it's something different. And I
Absolutely.
started
Wonderful.
because of Level Up coming up, and I'm going to be teaching the segmented class. I'd said I would bring my jig for doing open segmented. Well, the piece on it, you have a bolt that goes into your table that you use. And I bought this one when I was in California from the instructor that was teaching the class. It was like $30 or something like that. Well, the other day I was at Tractor Supply, and I just bought a 1-inch bolt, drilled a hole in it, and put a 1/2-inch rod. It's all epoxied in, nice and solid. So it will fit just like the other one does.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Perfect.
Look at that.
So
You can put that in a newsletter.
that's a lot of work. So
Very cool.
but I'll try to have this one and another one made for when I go there. So
Nice. A little more
the
hands-on.
wheels are easy. You just glue a piece of paper to the cardboard and take your bandsaw and cut your slots where you lock it down. This
Yep,
is for
we
a
have-
24 segment. It has
we have-
48 cuts around it. So one time you do the solid line, the next time you do the short line, that gives you your offset. So
looking good.
We have templates for that on our website.
yes. But they're not marked like these are.
Everybody's templates are different.
I know, but this one, you like I say, it's a 24. You need a 48 segment to do it the same. So I've got numerous different discs. So we do 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 36, 48. Like the snowman was done on 48.
Yeah, I love that. That's beautiful.
Wow.
All right.
Right.
Next person.
Cool. Thank you, Roger. All right, let's go to Sheila. Sheila.
Hi there.
Howdy.
Actually, both of my pieces tonight are not quite done too. So there's this one that's cherry.
Ooh.
It had some interesting stuff inside and a big void that I filled with epoxy. And I'm really happy with that. I got to see Matthias's coloring techniques with the black first, because that really helped. I still have to take this out and buff it. I brought it in to dry inside, but it's got a few rough spots. But
it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Cool.
Yep.
Thanks. It was fun. And this other piece is the one that has taken me since the end of December to do.
Wow.
Wow.
My goodness.
Wow. That is cool.
Look at the flower on there.
Absolutely incredible. Love it.
Very nice, Sheila.
Awesome.
Wow.
It's got 3 flowers.
Oh.
And I was trying to decide if it's going to be a vase or an urn. And I think for the price I want, it's going to have to be an urn. So I still have to make the lid for it. So it was actually done with segmented construction lumber scraps to start with. And then I put all the other stuff on the outside.
What is all the other stuff?
The circles are maple branches, the flower petals, and these pieces are cherry. I'm not quite sure what these ones are. And then there's walnut pieces in here that kind of blend in and can't see. The grout is actually coffee grounds and glue.
Oh my God. Okay, no.
Wow.
Wow.
And then I think these circle ones might be ash. I'm not sure. Just a bunch of scraps.
It's beautiful,
Wow.
Sheila.
Wow.
That's really
Very
pretty.
nice.
And yeah, I probably got about 30 hours into this one.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
yeah.
I ended
So-
up cutting
so-
a strip off of when I was trying to finish it, and I shouldn't have been trying to turn it. I should have stuck to the grinder, and I ended up ripping a ring off and
Oh,
had to
my.
redo it.
So you say you started that with you glued wood together, and is that,
Yeah.
I mean to make a round like what Billy's cookie jar, like like that first, like stave, like a stave.
It's got like staves in this section that were 2x3 scraps, and then the bottom and the top are both 2 rings that are like 1.5 inches. And then so I kind of turned those into the shape separately, and then added the walnut in the middle and the bottom and the top afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And then started gluing on little tile pieces.
So when you say ring,
That's really
just
cool,
say-
Sheila.
So you got
Yeah.
end grain and side grain.
For
Mhm.
these, they're pretty much all end grain, all the tiles. And
No.
the
But the
walnut.
staves and the segments aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would. I think they were all side grain because I glued the segments. I'm pretty sure the end grain is up and down.
Did you cooper them?
Did I which?
Did you cooper the staves so it made a circle, or did you just put thick staves together and then cut it round?
I just put them together and then cut them round.
Gotcha.
It would have taken me a lot longer than 30 hours. I'll tell you that.
Well, I haven't actually added them up, and I forgot to write down a lot of the times when I went out to the shop.
Gotcha.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Incredible. Yeah.
That is. That is. Wow.
Wow.
Thanks.
Really cool.
Very cool. Thanks, Sheila.
Yeah, thank you.
And that was, I kind of got that idea from a Turner on YouTube, Mayuko. He did one that had kind of waves of tiles pieces on it.
Oh yeah, he's incredible.
Yeah.
I love watching him.
Me too.
Right on.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let's go back to Randy. Randy's got something he wants to show in relation to Roger's jig.
Yes. One of the things that I have done is to use Excel to make segmenting or even jigs. And I'm going to share, let's see.
Came to you too quick, didn't I?
Okay. Can you see that screen?
Yeah, we see the spreadsheet.
Yes.
You see Excel. Okay.
Yes.
The thing I do is very simple. It takes longer to describe than it does to do. I take the same number and I put it in as many cells as I want to make. So I'm going to say, I'm going to use the number 6, and I'm going to go down 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6.
Just do a fill.
And now I have 20 cells with the number 6 in them. All that has to happen is that number has to be the same in all the cells. Now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to insert, and I'm going to say a pie chart. And I want a 2D pie chart. And now I have a pie chart. I'm going to make it a little bit, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger if I can. Come on.
Click and then drag.
Make that bigger. Yeah, I can. Doesn't look like I can.
Click it, then drag it.
No. Oh, well, it is what it is. In any case, here I have a pie chart. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to select to change pie chart. I'm going to say this is a pie chart. I'm going to say okay. Then I'm going to go down and I'm going to say no, that isn't it.
You trying to put numbers on it?
No, I'm trying to take them off. Okay, here. I'm going to select fill, and I want no fill. So now I have just a blank, basically the segments that I can copy or move onto a thing. I can save this as a PDF, and then I can save it and print it in any poster size I want. And so it's very easy to make a segmented layout of any size, any number of segments, 48, whatever. I don't think that there's any upper limit to how many segments you can put in there. But in any case, that's how I create anything anytime I want to make evenly spaced segments around a circle. That's how I do it. Any questions? And any spreadsheet program will do this. And even one of the one of the freebies like LibreOffice or OpenOffice. Both of them will do the same thing. The only difference is how you select things and how you change them. But it takes only a minute, as you saw.
Google Sheets also does it.
Pardon?
Google Sheets.
Yeah,
I
you
said
can do it in Google
Sheets
Sheets.
also does it.
Yep. You can do it in almost any spreadsheet program. That's
Very
it.
cool. Thanks for the tip there, Randy.
Thanks, Randy.
All right, let's go to Mr. Miller. Hey, Doug.
How to do? Good to see everybody tonight. Got a couple things, couple iterations of the first one. This is my first iteration of this thing. The idea is to turn a cell phone holder, one piece of wood. This one, as you can see, it's offset here. It's if I'd made the spindle any smaller, I'd have probably broke it off. But it's too close. It won't sit in there. It wants to tip forward. So I made a second one. Wanted to try to get it a little. Anyway, I got it a little better, but it's still pretty vertical, and the front ended up pretty thin. But it basically taking a little branch, about a 4 to 6 inch piece of a branch, drill the hole, not on the diameter. Hold it that way you can see it. Not on the diameter, which would be right here, but off of the diameter, and then turn the spindle. And this one is better. It still needs to be a little smaller, particularly in this area, so that the phone has room to lean back just a touch. So I'm still working on that, but that's going to be, once I get the pattern down for that, it'll be simple. Can turn them very quickly and then do them like at craft shows. So I know we were talking about that earlier. But that's something that could be sold fairly cheaply. And then yesterday, I had gotten a piece of sea grape. Fella down in Florida he turned some periodically, and he was showing he had a big pile of it out in his driveway. So I said, maybe we could do a trade for that. And so he agreed. So that's what I got from it. It's a piece of sea grape.
That's pretty.
We think it's related to buckwheat. That's what we're finding on the internet. Thank you, Wayne.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I had not heard of it either until saw Walt turning it. Lots of nice color in it. There's the stuff on the bottom side. It does have a big limb inclusion. This was a limb that died apparently because it barely, that's what these couple of marks are.
Right.
It's just the very end of it. And that's on the outside of the tree. This is the inside of the tree. And there's that big limb, and it's a dead limb. The same with the pith. It had a little gap right in the pith. I thought about coming down, taking that out. Would have just lost too much of it. So I kept it. Ended up with some squarish sides. That's a cut end. That's the bark side, and it had a little more bark. It's a little darker. And this will turn with oxygen and UV exposure. This will turn kind of an orange color, but it'll still keep that mottled look to it. So I'm real happy with it. That's bark as well. So anyway, I'm real happy with it. Got a couple of coats of oil on it. We're going to get a couple more coats on it, and as that oil dries, then after the last coat, I'll probably take it to the Bill Buff and buff it up just a little bit, get a little bit of shine on it.
Yeah, down here, at least on the Gulf Coast, and even on the East Coast, it's very popular because it can take salt water.
Yes, it grows salt, marshy areas. Yeah,
it grows fast and likes to take over. So yeah,
and it's if you get hold of it, if you haven't turned it before, it's the wood is dense, not super heavy, but it just real compacted grain. I mean, you can see grain in it, but it's not like even walnut. It's a walnut looks like it's porous compared to this. But it's pretty nice. I did find out on the West Coast, it grows up in the Oregon area along the coastline, and they call it Oregon grape up there.
Of course,
like it matters. But it's a saltwater, marshy kind of area, salt marsh area, kind of, yeah, brackish. It's a tree related to buckwheat somehow. So, okay.
Huh.
I saw what you
Interesting.
started with, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
amazed me. Well, it amazed me what you got out of that. I mean, it was
When I do wood trades with folks just kind of randomly like that, we usually get the medium flat rate box, which is a little longer than it is wide. And so, yeah, instead of cutting it square, I left it long. And this backside had like three big knots coming off of it. It was crazy looking, but it
Doug,
worked out. It worked out. Yes, sir.
do you have any pictures of that you could share with us to show them what you started with?
I do not. I didn't take a picture of the raw wood. I should have. But I did not. I might could do some screenshots off of the video.
Yeah, that was a tough piece of wood you started with.
Yeah, but it all worked. It turned out. It turned very nicely, actually.
Well,
Very cool.
beautiful.
All right. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. It's almost to the top of the hour. Let's what do you say we get our safety moment on? Then from there we'll move on to our featured demonstration for the evening. Sue, we got you now.
Okay, how's everybody doing? I was
Good.
going to talk about trips and falls, but I'm not going to do that tonight. Remember, safety talks are based on experience. Don't ask me how I know about that. Okay, faceplate safety. Let's talk about that. A lot of people just grab some screws and they put those screws in the faceplate. And a lot of times the screws they have around, because they look like great screws, are drywall screws. Please don't use those. They will break off and your piece will go flying and hopefully not in your face. Make sure that the screws are firmly in the faceplate, not just one or two little screw lines. Make sure it's in there. Make sure that the wood is flat against the faceplate. It has to be flat. Again, if it's not flat, it's not going to hold and it'll come off coming right at you. Sorry about this, guys. Assure back of the faceplate is firmly positioned. Well, that's like the other one. Make sure it's flat. Select the headstock with no threads exposed. Okay, so you want to position it against the headstock with no threads exposed. Now, a lot of people use the rubber washers so that it can sit firmly up against your drive stock, and so you don't see those screws and your faceplate is still positioned firmly on there. Here it is. Use a washer in the space between the faceplate and the headstock. Assure the plate is at least 1/3 of the diameter of the blank. So if you're doing a 9-inch, make sure you're using a 3-inch faceplate. If you're doing a 6-inch, yeah, you can get away with using a 2-inch faceplate. But if it's a 12-inch, it's safer to do a 4-inch faceplate. When mounting a faceplate, make sure 7 or 8 threads are in the wood. And again, that's part of making sure the faceplate is firmly in the wood, flat against the wood, and then flat against the headstock. So with that in mind, folks, make sure that you're doing everything safely. I wouldn't depend on the faceplate. Make sure that your tailstock is up there before you start roughing or anything else on it. So be safe this week. And I'd love to see your pretty faces next week. Take care, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
All right,
Stu.
thanks, Stu.
Thank you.
Hey, Stu, on those threads, the,
Yeah.
the number of threads going in the wood is that fine threads or coarse threads?
It
And
doesn't say.
I'm being
It does not
facetious.
say.
I'm being funny.
Nice. Nice.
All right, thank you, Sue.
Yep.
All right, before we go to our demo, Gary has something he would like to talk about real quick. So Gary, we got you.
Well, okay. I have got some white oak that, if you're seeing it, this tree died last year. And I was able to talk the power company into thankfully topping it for me. They did exactly what I wanted, but I've got more white oak than I would ever be able to turn in my lifetime. I am located on Lake Texoma, or where this is. This is at my lake house. Lake Texoma, which is just off of I-35 on the Oklahoma-Texas border. So anybody in north central Texas, Oklahoma, or anybody else that would want to drive to me, because I won't ship, I have got white oak coming out of my ears now, so to speak. I will cut this down eventually and mill it. And let's see here. Okay, come on. Where I'm trying to get to the next. Okay, now we're finally going. Another spot where a lot of it's cut down. This piece here is 8 feet long, about 22, 24 inches in diameter. This is about 22 inches in diameter, 6.5 feet long. So, and a lot of other wood here. If somebody would like some of it, it is free, except you'll have to pay for your own travel to me. And somebody would need to get a hold of me within the next couple of weeks. You don't have to come get it in the next couple of weeks, but need to communicate with me if somebody wants to, if they could come, say by 4th of July type thing. I will try and pull it back. Otherwise, let's see, let me go backwards. I'll come back to that one. This is my burn pile, and it's going to go up in smoke in a couple of weeks. I hate wasting wood, but I've got to get rid of it one way or another, and I can't store that much for me for future use. So if somebody would like some, I will put my information in the chat, or I am also listed in the members list. And if somebody would either call me, text me, or email me, I'm happy to then communicate with them, and I will pull out or reserve anything that they might want. The wood is pretty good quality. There is some checking because it has been down now for about 2 weeks. And but there's a lot of wood here. If somebody would like some of it. This is where I would do my milling. That's now with a 16 by 16 inch. And here in a couple of weeks, I'll get back down there. That's the rails for my sawmill. And I will lumber this piece, which has been on the ground now for about a year. But I've got to get back to it. So anyway, that was, it's available for anybody that might want it. Let's see, there's the stop share. So if anybody would like any of it, I would be happy to get it to you. And if somebody wanted one of these full logs, you would have to have some way or another getting it on your trailer. But yeah, somebody could have up to that, or if we were just to slice some 24-inch or 22-inch slices off of it, might be able to get that on a trailer or whatever. Anyway, please, somebody can use it.
Sounds good. Thank you, Gary.
Yeah.
Gary.
All right. So for our featured demonstration, let's go to North Carolina. See Mr. Pat. So this is going to be Pat's demonstration tonight. Typical protocol. Let's hold all questions and comments till the end of the demonstration, except for when Pat would be sequestering any questions or comments at the beginning of what he's going to be showing. Otherwise, I'll be taking care of any questions that are put into the chat, and I'll ask him at the opportune time when it's available for him to answer on a tool changeover. So with that, I'm going to mute everybody. Pat, you'll have to unmute yourself. So muting everybody now. Unmute yourself. Almost there. Still muted. Oh no. Doggone button ain't wanting to click, is it? Let me. I can't unmute you. Let me flip to your other camera and then I'll come back to you.
How about now?
There we go.
You got me?
Yes.
Okay. It's funny that at the first of the meeting, we were talking about prices of things that we make and people don't understand. And a lot of people don't realize what it takes to make it. So this idea actually came to fruition laying in the bed at night with my mind racing. I wanted to be able to do a demo anywhere, whether it had electricity or not. In most places that I do my craft fairs, they don't have electricity. So I came up with this idea to make a cart with everything on it that you need and put a solar generator on it. So it runs the lathe, lights, everything. And let's see if I can turn this thing around.
There you go.
And this is what I came up with. I built the cart and put it on casters so I could move it around. And like I said, it's got everything I need on it. It's got the lathe. I got a light up here. I've got my tools all in one place, and it's on a swivel so I can open the drawers. And it's just storage for different parts, the tool rest, different things. And then this one, I got finishing products, a dusting brush. This one is all sandpaper. And back here is a few jaws and different things. But the main part of it is down here. This is a solar generator, and it's just a big battery pack that is 1,229 watt hours. And I've turned several projects that normally take about an hour, and it'll go from 100% down to, it still has more than 90% left. So it's on 100% right now. Over here, I got my paper towels. And then over here is just storage of turning blanks and different things. It's got the fire extinguisher.
There we go.
And then keep my face mask on this end. And I made a little mount for the chuck so it wouldn't be sliding around. And I just made it out of wood. It's kind of crude, but it works. And that's pretty much it. I added this part and this just for the demo. So
Nice.
that's pretty much the setup.
And then for the casters, do you experience any vibration from the casters when you're using it, Pat?
No, they're locking casters and it don't move. I mean, if you put some on there way out of balance, you might get some vibration, but I hadn't experienced any. So, any questions on that?
Nope, that was the only question so far. Anyone have any questions on it?
It's a great setup, and I love where you've got your disc sanding equipment. Great idea.
Thank you. All right, if there's no questions, I will.
Pat, how long can you run the lathe on the battery pack?
Like I said, I've run 2 or 3 projects that take a little over an hour and still have 90% power left.
Okay,
So,
all right. So there's a lot of room. Okay.
You could probably run it all day.
I imagine
I hadn't had a problem with that part, so
Okay.
it
Patrick,
works good.
quick question, Patrick. What is on the headstock, the magnetic mount going up to?
That is actually a dial caliper mount for.
Yeah. What do you use it for? Camera?
Yeah, mounting the camera up here. It's just something I threw together.
It's a cool idea. I like it.
We'll see how good it works.
Thank you.
All right, great. No further questions, and we can get on to the solar powered turning project.
All righty. You want to switch me to the other camera?
Yeah, I'll do that now.
All right, you still got me?
Yes.
Okay, good. What I'm gonna turn is it'll be just a small platter with a wide rim and a medallion in the center. And it's really pretty simple. But I'm gonna start by putting it between centers. I can see it. Knock the light off. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn a tenon in the center and then reverse it and do the bottom. And this piece of walnut is dry and hard as a brick. Mark for the tenon. Now I can turn it around and put it into chuck jaws. Now we shape the bottom of it. I'm going to try to go for kind of an OG shape and put a tenon or recess in the bottom. So when I finish the bottom, I'll be through with it. That ain't cutting at all. See if this will do better. Well, high-tech light don't want to stay on. Well, it ain't cooperating tonight. Can you see it all right without the light?
Yeah, we don't need the light, Pat.
We might have to do with that.
There you go. Yeah, that's fine. Take the light off. It keeps popping off on you.
Now I'm going to shake the bottom, try to get a little bit of an OG shape. A little more speed. Take a little bit more. Do a little bit of rearranging. Cut my recess a little bit deeper. Use a scraper to take out some tool marks. I'm gonna do a little bit of sanding. I ain't gonna bore you with a whole lot of it. That looks terrible. Or just a little bit of, or a little bit of sealer on it, bring the color out.
Using walnut oil, Pat?
No, it's lacquer-based sanding sealer. And we turn it around. Screw it up a little bit. I think I want the rim about like that. I really wish this light would work. That's about the size of my medallion. I won't leave in the center of it. Put my fingers at work. You don't hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I think my internet's going in and out on me.
Looks fine from here, Pat.
Yeah, no problems.
Okay. Get that a little bit better. Hit that a little bit with sandpaper. You got a little tear, right? A little bit more. Now what I'm going to do is take a texturing tool and see what kind of design it makes. Something different every time I use it.
How that is.
Might be too fast.
Looks good.
Sometimes it makes a flower, sometimes it don't.
Is that a 3-point tool? Yep.
leave your feet alone, please?
If you're saying anything, Pat, we can't hear you. And Pat, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay. I think my internet's gone goofy tonight. But I'll probably take this tomorrow and put spray lacquer on it or finish.
That looks great.
But that's the bowl.
Nice.
Walnut.
Like I said, it's dry. I don't know how long this has been in the shed, but it's dry as a bone.
That's beautiful.
You get some, yeah, the chatoyance will really kick out once you hit it with the lacquer.
Yeah, that'll bring it out a lot.
Yep.
You did a fantastic job with the with the Sorby tool.
Thank you.
That's gorgeous.
That takes a lot of practice, and I'm still not that good with it, but it turned out
made
pretty
that thing
good.
sing. You made it sing.
Yeah, you did. You're better than me. Mine looks like chicken scratched all over it when I try
I
to
know,
use
right?
mine.
You're better than you think. You're better than you think, Pat.
And then when I wipe it off, the paper towel sticks to it.
Yeah, this has got paper towel stuck in it, but I'll take a brush and clean all that out and
I
spray
like
it
that.
down
I like that white patch in the bowl,
up here,
right over far over to your left. On the
About 10
left.
o'clock.
right there.
10,
Yeah,
11
right there.
Yeah. Right there.
Looks
Yeah.
like a couple feathers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Got a lot of figure in it.
it sure
Yeah, it
does.
does.
It looks like
Walnut,
marble.
walnut is one of my favorite woods to turn. That and cedar. I like both of them.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I like that cabinet you made.
That's
Thank
very
you.
impressive. Yeah.
How much
Sure.
power?
That's all.
So, Pat, we got a couple questions. So,
Okay.
one question that popped up was, how much sawdust does your computer collect when you're turning there?
Practically none. It might be a
Okay.
little bit of dust. What I should have done was got a piece of saran wrap, and that's what I had planned to do, to put a piece of saran wrap over the keyboard. But I mean, it's pretty clean. I can get to it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
basically all it got on it.
There you go, Brenda.
Ain't bad at all.
And then, so we got questions on the solar setup.
Okay.
Let's see. One question was, do you take your solar panels and to charge it when you're on site?
No,
Or do you take the panels with you? Okay.
no.
And then let's see. How, and I think you covered it earlier. So on a full charge, would you be able to turn on it all day?
I figure if you turn steady, you could probably turn with this lathe 10 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then for the panels, how many panels do you have and what's the output of them?
I've got the panels came with the setup I've got in my little studio up front. And it's two 200-watt setups, which
Okay.
this unit, I only use one on it. But I mean, this can be plugged right into an AC outlet, and it'll charge it from like 20% up to a full charge in an hour.
Wow.
Oh, wow. And then so just strictly on the liquid sunshine, liquid electric coming from the sun, how long does it take to charge up?
That same scenario, probably 8 hours. It's a lot slower,
Right.
but it's cheap. I mean, it's free energy. Once you buy the solar panels and the solar generator, it's free energy.
Which I didn't see. Which battery do you have?
It's Anchor.
Okay, thanks.
It's the 757.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, the Anchor 757.
There you go. And then do you have any type of ventilation for it down inside the cabinet, or is it just as is? Ventilation
Just as is. I mean, it really don't produce hardly any heat. If it's a really hot day, I would open the doors so it could get some ventilation. But I mean, from what I've done right now, it's just as cool as it was when I started. And it's still got 90%, 96% left in it.
Wow.
Wow.
It's a neat system. That's like the one I got up on my studio up front. I mean, I run everything on that, the lights, everything. And I normally don't have to charge it. If I'm in there every day, I might have to charge it once a week.
Huh.
But it's 40, right at 4,500 watt hours. and this one is 12.29.
How difficult is that to pack up and take to a craft show with you?
It's not that bad. I mean, I've got an enclosed trailer, and I'll take the lathe off and the solar generator. Most of the weight and load that separate, and then the cabinet, it just rolls right in. And I've got a Harbor Freight wagon that I use it to haul the stuff to the site.
Nice.
So it's pretty convenient, and it amazes people to see how we do things. The last one I did was, I think, last May, and I had people standing watching. I had one couple that they walked up when I first started, stayed the whole time, watched the whole demo, and when I got through, they asked me how much did I want for it. I told him what I wanted for it. He whipped out the money, and off it goes.
Right. You tell him to stand there a little bit longer, he'd make another one for him.
Yeah, I told him, I said, I got plenty more where they come from. But it's a good selling point. I mean, people actually see how it's done and what it takes to do it. And if you explain it from start to finish, from cutting the tree down, cutting it up into blanks, drying it, getting it ready, prepped, people are amazed. You take a chunk of wood out of the forest and turn it into a bowl or box or base or whatever.
Right.
So it's pretty neat.
And it's proof to show that it didn't come from Bangladesh or India or Indonesia, you know.
Exactly. I was at one craft show, and a lady walked up, looked at the stuff. She saw the price on it, and I think it was like a $45 or $50 bowl. And she picked it up. Oh, this is pretty. I like this. And she turned it over, looked at the price. She looked at her husband and said, I can get one of these from Walmart for $10. I said, well, best thing you do, go to Walmart, because this one's not going for $10.
Yeah.
But you meet all kinds.
Yeah, you sure do.
Usually it's the husband that says that.
Yeah, this was the wife. She, I go to Walmart and get that for $10. Bye.
Get to stepping. Yeah. Amen.
Yes,
Well,
it's funny.
Demo. That was an excellent demo, Pat.
Yes, it was. Thank you.
Thank you. I think y'all missed a lot of what I was saying because of my internet going foolish.
Yeah, I think you were putting some bits of wisdom out there and we weren't picking up on it.
Very nice job.
Anyway.
It's all good. Does anybody else have any questions or comments for Pat about his setup or demo itself or the tooling or?
Yeah, put it all on the newsletter.
I do have a question if you have a second. Do you take a grinder or something with you to sharpen your tools if you're out all day?
No, I take a diamond card, and that's all I use.
Wow.
And carry enough tools that if one gets dull and I can't get it to cut with the diamond card, I'll just set it to the side and use another one.
Good deal. Excellent. Thanks for the demo. Great job. And plus, I have that lathe, and my goodness, I'd like you to give me a lesson on how to use it because I'm still trying to figure it out.
They're nice little lathes. I like it. I mean, it's small. I like my Powermatic 3520, but that would be kind of hard to transport.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, indeed.
This is
thanks again.
More of a demo lathe.
Right. Big boy. And then, so we just had a question pop in. The finish that you were using out of the squeeze bottle, that was lacquer sanding sealer.
Yes, it was Deft Lacquer Sand and Sealer. And it really needs another coat because it's so dry that it just soaked it right up.
Yeah, I
And
bet
I
it really
use
sets
that.
it up for being dry.
I use that for a quick finish. A lot of times I like to use the hung oil finish or something like that. Sometimes I'll use wax. But I mean, you put that on there and just spray lacquer over it, or a lot of people like to use polyurethane. I don't like polyurethane myself. Never had good luck with it.
Well, that was very enjoyable today, Pat. Thank you.
Thanks, Al.
All right. Well, if nobody else has any questions or on the solar setup or the demo, we will carry on with the program here. Let's see. Captain Eddie has boogered off for the evening.
No, I'm still around.
Where you at, Captain?
I had to switch cameras.
He's hiding.
There you are. Let's go back to Captain Eddie and see what he thought of this. There he is.
I'm sorry, folks came in for the treatment and it's early and they're setting up, and I just had to turn off that computer for them to use.
No, it's okay.
Hey, boy, was I impressed. That was a very good demo. I like all the technology about the solar panels, et cetera, and it's a good learning curve. Really good item to be it warrants a page in a newsletter. It really does, to give the basis of it and how it becomes and how do you do it and what's involved. That would be a very good newsletter article, sort of like what Brenda did today. If you haven't noticed today, the newsletter came out. Yes, and wonderful, 10 pages. All right, JJ. But, our newsletter is probably the fondest in the world, all dealing with wood turning, and only with wood turning. There's not a lot of sales and promotions, none of them, in fact. And this is where we put those articles like that. So if you saw this and we get something like this, but suppose you have something else that deals with wood turning and you want to share it with our guys and gals and those wood turners who just are wondering, what can I do? How can I go about this? You can help them along. Just generate it, send it to editor at worldwidewoodturners.org, and we'll use it along with the photographs of that awesome work you turn out. That a piece we turned out tonight. We turned out. Yeah, we were all in the studio at the same time with them right there, right? Gotcha. Okay. And whoever left the paper on that piece cleaned up. But whatever we turn out like that, those are beautiful pieces and they come from the heart. And you watched it right there happen in front of you. And we want to see more of that. And it's very important to me that we see it because it's like being in the shop with him, getting the dust off and all this at the very end. It's a great experience. I really enjoy it. Something that came up that said how much dust gets in the computer when he's turning. For years, a long time ago, I did a upstream from maybe it was upstream. It was some stream, and I did it from my shop 2-3 days a week. I went to the shop and I turned and invited people to join me, and we were live. And I've used one of my laptops, a Gateway or something like that. And after the first couple of times, a guy said, "You can't do that. The sawdust will get in and clog them up. Blow it off." And quickly, I got a response from my IT guy at work that said, "Don't blow that off. The worst thing you can do is blow it off. What goes off and what goes in?" He said, "You tell me what happens." He said, "Vacuum it off or keep it from going in." And the move, he just said, a piece of that really thin stuff, that thin, clear plastic. Billy Burt knows that plastic. He puts it across his chest when he eats ribs. So he doesn't get the rib stains on the shirts. Right, Billy? Isn't that stuff?
Yep, press and seal.
That you clear seal, all right. You put a little piece of that over it, but when you get done, you vacuum it off with a soft brush vacuum, and you pick it up because you want it to come out, not go in. And not that airbrush is not the friend of everybody and anything. And The same thing with when your chuck is clogged up or you things like that. People, I just could blow gun and clear it out. Do you really clear it out? We could go on for that for days, but keeping it from going in is the first step. So tonight's demo was really, really good, folks. And if you want to do something like that, the floor is open. You want to do a demonstration for us from your shop, you can do it what are these things called? iPhones, the bane of my existence.
Cellular device.
Full demo right here. Right here. That's the full demo. Can come right from right there. You've seen it happen right here, folks. It's just that easy, just that complicated. And you want to know how to hold it? The world's greatest website for wood turning has got details on how to build a holder. Yeah, we got that. Don't we, Matt? We got a holder for that. Yeah. On how to do articulating arm holders and everything else. So we've got all that for you right here because we'll help you out. And if you ever have doubt and you want to get into one and you want to say, hey, how does this work? Contact one of us. Contact us and say, look, I can go live on Zoom anytime, day or night. If you call me and say, I want to see how this works, fine. We'll Zoom right now live and you put your stuff into your Zoom program just like we're talking now. It's that easy. And we can see how it comes out. We can test your audio, your video, your switching, how it's held, what you see. And we record everything too, so you can see it also. So it's all, everything that we have, all that stuff in that little bitty box, we can make work for you to help you enjoy your wood turning. And I love it because we're putting technology to its best use.
Hey, Eddie.
Yes.
You mentioned about contacting us. How would we be able to do that?
Got an idea.
You know what?
I have an idea. It's called a members list. Now,
a members list.
Yes.
This. Oh, always forget to do the sound. Share sound. Stereo. All right.
Hey, Captain Eddie here. You want to get a hold of another member of Worldwide Woodturners? All you need to do is go to the membership list. Yes, it's that easy. The Worldwide Woodturners membership list. And how do we get that? Well, because we don't have a real entry where you send us money or anything, because we're free and we have no restrictions. So if you want to share something, you share it. How do you do that? Well, suppose you want us to get a hold of you by telephone, and well, better than that, you want to go the old way and you want to get it by mail to get a package or ship something to somebody, or you all new way and you just want to push a little blue button on your dashboard there and send them an email. Well, if you want to do that, you have to share some information. Like what? Well, you can start with giving your name, your address, your phone number. Well, yeah, the basics, the information you want to have shared. Now, get out a piece of paper, any kind of paper, put down what you want and take a look at it. Now, this is the only thing we're going to have. We don't have a photograph. We don't have anything to relate to. We have this. Now, if you want to give us all that information, that's fine. What you give us is what gets shared. Now, how do you share it? You send that information by email to webmaster@worldwidewoodturners.org. Yeah, just in an email say, please include me in membership list, yada, yada, in here. Don't put yada, 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 please. Okay, and then you send it on to Dave. Now, this is going to take a little bit of time now because Dave also develops the world's greatest website dealing with wood turning, so he's a little busy. And he's got a life, and he likes to turn wood, okay? And then Dave will have it, he'll put it in a list. Now, if you'd like to get a copy of the list, all you have to do is send a request to the same address. Please make it a separate request so we can, keep track of them. And you wouldn't want to overload the guy, right? Now, when you ask for the list, You are doing one thing. You are agreeing to this. This is a private, never ever for use for any commercial gain list, which means you can't give this to anybody at all ever for commercial gain. I don't care how good it sounds, it's still commercial gain. So no, I don't want to get bombarded with a bunch of, and all that other stuff. It's just between us friends. So if that's how it is, let's keep it between friends. It's all because we're in the Worldwide Woodturners, your woodturning club. Take care now. There
Outstanding.
you have it.
That was great.
Put it any better, right?
Well said.
All right, good.
Yes. Mhm.
No, that's a piece where the club is now producing little tidbits like that to go into our meetings. And in the future, the near future, we'll be highlighting some activities that will take place during Level Up and during meetings and upcoming events. And if you've got something for input on that, you can send it to us. And remember, anytime you need to contact us regarding Level Up, you can do it at levelup@worldwidewoodturners.org. This is the most open woodturning club in the entire world. There's no limits and no restrictions. Well, yeah, remember, you got to be nice. And if you're not nice, out the door. Okay, that's it. Great demo tonight. We got some gallery to look at. We got some books to talk about. I think we've got a problem we have to solve. I really do. But then we'll get to that. Who's up on gallery tonight? If you got something to show, put it in the chat. Say, I got something to show.
Oh, I think we got some whip to take a look at. Let's go to Michigan and see what Jeff's got.
Hey, everybody. I'm joining the In Progress Club tonight. This is the vase I've been talking about. I finally got to glue up and shape the first 5 rings today, and then I've glued on the other 5 rings. That's going to set for 24 hours, and I'll continue the shaping and the sanding. And then I got 4 more to go on top. So essentially, starts with Peruvian walnut, ends with Peruvian walnut. Peruvian walnut in the spacers, and the wood is Chinese elm. So it's a work in progress. I wish I've had more time to work on it because it's been a joy. This is, working with these spacers in there has really made gluing up the rings kind of a challenge. And it's not a hard thing. It's kind of, you got to think about where your fingers are at and what you're doing and getting everything lined up and straight as you're tightening down the clamp. If you're playing with segmenting and you haven't done spacers yet, give it a try. These are 1/8 inch. I'm using Wood Pro software, and that automatically figures in, if you're saying you got a 5-inch ring, it automatically figures in the spacing and stuff for the spacers when you tell them what size they are. So anyways, so this is coming along. Hopefully I will, in the bottom is Peruvian walnut with a Chinese elm plug in the center. So hopefully I'll be able to get to it tomorrow and work on these rings and get the other 4 glued on.
Sounds good. Glad you're
what I'm
back
working
out
on
in
now.
Jeff.
Yep, exactly.
Feeling better. Good.
Yeah, definitely. Much better.
Right on. Good. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's go to Alabama and see what Mr. Hale's got. Hey, Gary.
Hello. Oh, I just playing around today. The first time I've ever done any live oak. This is Florida Hurricane live oak branch. There we go. Had some nice coloration in it. And
Nice.
I just went out and turned a little bowl today. It's still wet. I turned it thin enough. I don't think it'll split. I don't know how bad live oak is to split. So this one was a run on a small branch. The Hurricane oak, live oak.
Does hurricane mean it
That
came?
was it.
Does hurricane mean that it came down in a hurricane?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice of them to do
During
that
one
for
of
you.
the hurricanes, it broke some branches off on. We went to a plant nursery down there, and the hurricane had broken branches off, and they'd trimmed them up. They had firewood stacked up of live oak. I said, I want a piece.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I grabbed a piece of firewood off their pile.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice, Gary.
That's the first piece of live oak I've turned, and it's the graining in it's really neat. It's not as hard to turn as I had been told it was either. So
how wet
Very
was
cool.
it? Well, it came down almost now when the one that hit that went through Orlando.
Yeah.
Came across and went back into the coast. So it's several months down.
Okay.
And it had some end crack, had some checking on the ends of it, but I only had to cut off about an inch on both ends to get away from the checking.
Okay.
And it was pretty solid, but it's a little, it's damp on the inside. I turned it to about 1/8 of an inch with a 1/4 inch thick rim. And I'm hoping that's thin enough that it's not going to crack.
Okay. Sounds good.
You'll be fine. I think you'll be fine.
I
Good
hope.
looking piece of wood. Good looking piece of wood.
Yeah.
From my experience of turning, I've never had an issue with any movement on it. It's pretty stable once you get it down to less than 5/16 of an inch. So I think Billy would agree with that. Also, he turns a lot of it. But time will tell.
Yep, time will tell.
Right? All right. Thank you, Gary. All right, let's go to Mr. Edwards. Hey, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Yep. You okay now?
Yep, we got you.
All right. Everybody's turning bowls and everything that's round with a bowl or a shape or whatever it is. I did a little something different several years ago, and this is what I came up with.
Oh, wow.
That's neat.
It's a stool that has a I turned the convexer in there, or what do you call it?
Okay.
Shape of it there, but each and every one of them was turned different. There was a plan in one of the woodworking magazines that showed this, but I didn't go by exact size or anything, but I just did it by eye and figured what I had to do and what I didn't have to do. Each one of us turned. So
that's excellent.
Very nice.
It's a little bit different than all the bowls that's been showing up.
Yeah. So for the imprint on the top of the seat, did you turn that on the lathe or did you use some other tool?
Yes, I did.
We've got a gentleman up here in Michigan who's known for his stools. He's known worldwide.
Well, I'm from Michigan too, but I mean,
you are okay. But he uses a spoke shave on the inside.
I got a piece of wood that was from Armstrong's on M59.
Oh yeah, my favorite place.
And I got a piece of wood there, and I just messing around with it, and finally I turned it on my Shopsmith sideways because the 12 inches was a little bit more than what my swing on my Shopsmith was.
Okay.
So I had to do it sideways.
Yeah.
So that's what I came up with.
I really like it. It's neat.
Thank you.
Very cool, Dave. All right, let's go to staying in Michigan and go see what Matt's got. Hey, Matt.
Howdy. So I'm going to start with one of my works in progress. I've been in the shop for a couple of days this week. I cleaned and made a whole bunch of things. So I got like 15 projects going on, but this is one. I finished carving this.
Wow.
So it needs a little bit more painting. And I finished this piece. This is I did a box demo on the February the 5th. And this is the box that I made in that demo.
Nice.
So this this little bit here is is just a figure in the wood, and then I did this in the bottom of it with the Sorby tool in the demo.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
So, and
Cool.
I'm delighted with how this turned out, so to speak. It's a really lovely little piece. I redid the finial because I wanted to change it a little bit, but it's got the pith in it. It's got all kinds of things that you're not supposed to do with it. So there's the pith. Whoops, there. It's over here.
There you go.
Cool.
Oh, I'll tell you
So-
what, after tonight, I'm got to go and get, they come in different sizes, right?
What does?
The texturing tool, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's the normal one, the big one, which is what I used here, and then they call it the mini, which is a smaller one.
All right.
You saw that the piece with the walnut and the pewter I showed last week.
Yes,
the
I think,
texture on that was done with the mini, the Sorby mini. So, and the Wagner tool on the base. So the two of them, but yeah. So
Very moving project.
I got about 15 things going on, and the shop is clean, and I got a new air compressor. Mine died about 9 months ago, and I had to pull a whole bunch of wood out of the shop in order to get the air compressor out. So, because it was buried, but it's cleaner than it's been in 2 years. So. Okay. Next up is Don. Thank you for hanging out. What do you got, Don?
Unmute myself. Thanks for letting me in. I appreciate it. I've been working on spheres and segmented work the last few weeks, and today I'm just learning how to do spheres. I just did one today. It's a black walnut sphere. And it sets on if you guys remember back in the day what a jack is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
I've got it sitting on there so you can just see it. I'll hold it up. It's not working. Like that.
Nice.
So
Very
Sweet.
I've used different instruction from a lot of different videos, and I've tried 2 or 3 of them, and I found one that it works really good. I think I saw Alan Stratton, As Wood Turns, has a few of them on making spears, but you could tell it evolved over time, and
Right.
I thought it was very simple to follow. It's just being able to, your tool skills got to be. It's a good learning skill.
Which one did you use,
Well,
Don? Did you use his octagon method?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
And
thanks.
It
Cool.
worked really slick. So it always takes me a little longer to do something because I take my time, and between steps I'll make sure I go over the next 2 or 3 steps so I don't miss anything. So it takes me longer to turn than you see on YouTube, where guys are going like crazy, but they're speeding up their movies, so their videos. So it's kind of deceiving, I think, anyway. But here's a bowl I've been working on. Oh, that's quite large. This is a 10-inch bowl. It's made from Brazilian cherry on top and maple in the middle. It's regular cherry on the bottom, but I got to tell you a story about this, if I may, just quickly. Is the bottom of this, a friend at our local club was doing a cherry bowl about 14 inches, 14-inch diameter, and he went through the side of it. You usually hear guys making funnels, but he went through the side of it trying to get nice thin walls. And he brought it to the club and gave me both pieces. And he says, "What can you do with this?" I said, "I don't know. Let me figure it out." So actually, that's from a bowl turned a couple of years ago that he went through the side. So I used that for the bottom. I had to trim it down quite a bit because it was obviously went down to nothing. So I had to trim the top down And then I used it for the base of this bowl. Now I still got the top of it, and I have to figure out how to mount it on my lathe, so I can trim that down and make that a top of another bowl. So it's been fun. I've used a wedgie sled that I made through Bennett, I think his name is. That I'm sure you guys heard of him. But that's what I got. It's been fun the last couple of days. I've been in the shop for more hours. My wife probably appreciates me being in there and leaving her alone. So worked out good. And that's all I got.
Looks wonderful.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
you did a nice job on
Nice.
both of them.
Nice work, Don.
Very
Thanks
nice.
a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, next up is Mr. Doug Rowe. What you got, Doug? Your turn.
All right, give me just a second here because I'm over here sanding away on something. But let me play you off the tripod. There we go. And where's the flip around thing? There we go. So I scored a bunch of elm recently again. And elm grows where I live pretty regularly. And a friend had 3 big elm trees come down a little over a year ago. And so she called me up, asked me if I wanted it. There's only one right answer to that. Yes, do. So here's a little bowl that I made. And these first few that I'm going to show you, they're all going back to her as a thank you for letting me have all the wood. I brought another wood turner out there with me. We filled up his truck, my truck and trailer, and one other load for a guy who wanted firewood. But we picked all the wood out for wood turning first. Then the firewood guy got the leftovers. And okay, Brenda, are you on? What do we see?
I seen the bird in the other one.
You saw a bird in the other one? Okay.
Bird, yeah, looked like a.
So on this one, oh, I didn't even realize it till I was done, and then I brought it in the house and I was showing it to my wife, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Porky the
that looks like a
pig.
bunny rabbit."
Yes, I see the bunny rabbit.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I do now. Yeah.
Yes.
That looks like
First thing
the
I saw
bird
was a
flu.
tank top.
That looks like that bird flu carrying mallard.
Okay, all right, yeah. So I guess we just go this way with it. Jump, jump, jump. Maybe it's Zero from Night Before Christmas or whatever. I don't know.
Looks like Pikachu to me.
Pikachu, there we go. The other side of it. And then turn me another one of them three-tiered dishes. So
Wow.
these are fun to
Got that
make.
one on my list.
They the problem with these ones is the level of profanity that comes out of my mouth while I'm making them.
Yeah, we've all got those kind of projects.
And the profanity generally happens. I'll show you. So this part comes out really easy. It's when I'm here and the knuckles hit, ow! Or when I'm here and the knuckles hit, ow! And there's some other words.
You know, you don't have to make it as one piece. You know that, right?
Oh, but that's the challenge, right? And you know, only a fellow wood turner can understand this. When you stick something crazy on the lathe and somebody else goes, why don't you just saw that off first, like at a bandsaw or something? Because that takes all the tickles and fun out of it. You know, we all started off riding a tricycle, and that was fun. And then we moved up to riding off the sidewalk and jumping the curb. And then we got our BM, and now we have 4-wheel drives and motorcycles. Same thing with wood turning. You spin a spindle first. That was fun. And then you put a tree on your lathe, and it dances all over the place. And you're like, yeah, let's go, rock on. Or maybe that's just me. I might have problems.
Watermelon on there or pumpkin.
Yeah, maybe you'll throw a pumpkin on there. Who knows? And for those of you that don't know what you're talking or what we're talking about, we've maybe have done a live demo of a pumpkin turning before.
Yeah.
And then here's one that I'm just working on right now. This is the one, if you go on my Facebook, that I did the live turning on, and now I'm just trying to do the finish work on it. and it's just got some major tear out in here on this end grain. But I'm having fun with it. So that's what I've got to show tonight.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Doug. Thanks for
Fantastic,
letting us into your shop and in your head.
Hey, no
Yeah.
problem.
I tell you, I watched you do some of that 3-tier bowl. That was nice. I like that.
Oh, okay.
You gave me a couple nice ideas.
So Dane,
I like the way you
has
did it.
me. Dane's got me set up for June 4th to do a live demo for us.
Excellent.
For the club.
Yeah, it was nice when I was watching. Really,
I'm gonna get a few more. I'm gonna do a few more so I can get faster at it, and hopefully we'll be able to. We won't be able to finish it, obviously, but hopefully we'll be able to turn one in a 1-hour demo by June 4th and do it without cuss words. That's the goal. But
there you go.
But when I'm doing it, what we'll have Dane do instead of muting all of you, he's gonna mute me for the demo.
Well, that takes all the fun out of it.
No, we'll just hear all the beep, 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 beep.
Right. So just so y'all know, the next natural progression of this 3-tiered dish is he's gonna drill out the center, and he's gonna put a pump in there, and he's gonna start having cheese whiz come through it, or chocolate.
All right, hold on. Ask and ye shall receive.
Oh,
so
well, that's the reason. That's the reason why I know.
I made this one, gosh, a long time ago. It was right around the time we started Worldwide Wood Turner.
When we first started, yeah.
And I didn't have a lot of experience with resin yet. I had some, but not a lot. And so there's no resin on this. This is all sealed with Thompson water sealer and lacquer, and that wasn't enough. And I don't know where it's at. Anyway, if I run water through it now, there's all kinds of cracks out through here. So I keep saying I'm gonna repair it one of these days and coat the whole thing in resin and see if I can make it work. But this one was it was crazy. I didn't fully understand how putting a really long drill bit in from the tailstock will wander on you. And I'm like, well, that's not a straight line anymore. And then it got stuck in there. Oh, there were some cuss words making that one too.
Sounds like a popcorn ready event.
It always is with Doug.
And if you're friends with me on Facebook, go check out the outfit I wore to work today.
Okay.
I'll just leave that at that.
Yeah.
May not want to.
Gary.
I'm scared now.
He was at school, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it's not the bikini.
My favorite. That was my favorite color, though. I'll leave it at that.
So she's already seen it. I'll just say this. I won a box of fruit snacks for the outfit I wore today, and fruit snacks was the perfect prize for the outfit I was wearing.
Doug, we got to talk, man. We got to talk.
Too funny. All right. Well, next up is Norm. Let's see what you got, Norm.
Had a little bit of time on the lathe this week, which was kind of fun. I made this box elder bowl.
Nice.
Oh, that's pretty.
Nice color.
And then I made this walnut.
Oh, that's nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Got nice grain.
And then an elm.
Very nice. That
Wow.
Siberian elm?
Pardon?
Is that Siberian elm?
I have no idea.
It might be American
like
elm.
It was in Minnesota, wherever, at my
Okay.
aunt. She had one that had died, been dead for many years, and I took it down and made the bowl.
Well done.
Thank you.
Looks great, Norm.
Very cool. All right. Well, that's all I've got on my list. So I'm going to send it back to
Oh,
you,
no.
Dane.
Yeah, we got on our list. We got 30 more minutes and we don't have any more gallery items. So we had a question in chat earlier. I think some of the solutions have already been solved. But for those that didn't see it, there was a question on when you're doing segmented rings and you don't have a drum sander, what is the best way to go about flattening those rings that you've got made up? And so I'll open the floor up for those that do segmenting on the various methods that you use outside of a drum sander for flattening the segmented rings.
Well, I can add to that. I kind of answered this in the chat, but I can add to that because before I got the drum sander, that was a big problem for me. So I made a 12-inch disc out of Baltic birch that mounted on my lathe, and I put 80 grit sanding disc on it that I got at Harbor Freight.
And when you mean mount, you mean mount it in your chuck?
Well, not on the chuck. I actually had a faceplate on it. So, but
okay,
you could do a chuck too. I've seen people do that. So, and then anyways, I just took the ring and I put chalk on it as per Earl's small segment shop, and I held the ring against the spinning disc and just checked for the chalk marks every so often. When they were gone, I took a ruler and held it against each segment across it just to make sure everything was flat. There was no gaps or anything like that. Then I turned around and did the other side. And when I finished that, then I moved on to the next ring until I was done. The trick with that is you got to really watch your knuckles and your fingernails.
Right. And then so
and don't ask me how I know that.
So mine, I'm mounting the back of the chuck.
Yep.
And then this is dual purpose. This is set up right now for large bowls to be pressed against so I can remove the tenon or work on the bottom. But when I don't have my silicone mat on it, then I put 80 grit sandpaper over it to flatten anything that I want to flatten off.
Yep.
And so that's, Dave, that's what they mean. What Jeff is talking about and what I was talking about, making a big disc out of cabinet grade plywood. And the reason why I use cabinet grade is because it won't move. It's solid.
Yeah.
It won't work on you over time.
You can use a piece of MDF too. The problem with MDF though is when you're taking the old sanding disc off, it's pretty much going to destroy it.
Right, it's MDF.
Yeah, so you're going to make a new one every single time. But you know, I don't change my pad that often. So, but now I've got the drum sander, so it doesn't get used that often. I basically use it now just for squaring off the blanks for my pens. So.
I use cold jaws.
Oh,
Mount the ring in a cold jaw.
Yep.
And turn it.
Or you could make something like this. I've shown it before.
Yeah.
And
I got,
but that's right. Same premise of what we're talking about, whether it's a faceplate or goes in a chuck.
Yeah.
I got two 12-inch sanding discs that were for a shopsmith that I have tenons in both of, or Morse taper in both ends. So I can put one in the headstock, I can put one in the tailstock, whatever I need to do. I've got plenty of ways of sanding.
Yeah.
Right.
I love those ideas. And I created mine with Velcro on it.
Yeah.
One of my shopsmiths has Velcro.
And then I also threaded the back with a tap, so it screws right on the.
Yep.
Right on
good
the
idea.
To the spindle.
Another thing you can do too is if you with the ring mounted in like cold jaws, you can take a flat board with a strip of 80 grit belt sandpaper on it and just hold that up against it flat. And that actually works pretty quick too. It's pretty efficient. Yep.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
So you got lots of options, Dave.
I appreciate it.
All pretty much similar.
For making your disc, if you don't want to buy a thread, you can also buy an 1 inch by 8 or 1 inch by quarter threaded nut and glue that in the back of your disc too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then you don't have to have a tap.
I was getting tired trying to figure out how to sand it and keep it flat.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you don't want to lose your fingernails, you take another piece of Baltic birch plywood and put double-sided tape on it, stick your ring to it, and use that to hold on to instead of using your hands on the actual ring.
Yeah.
Good idea.
I've seen some people do that to some extent and have it in their tailstock without the live center. And I just experimented with that one day. It just got too hot real quick. It literally destroyed the sandpaper. So I don't do that method.
Were you sanding too fast?
No, it's just I think it was just the hard
Too much
pressing
pressure.
of the tailstock. Yeah, the pressure. And
Pressure, yep.
the friction just caused the sandpaper to get hot real fast.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
going to get hot anyways, but I mean, it's
Right.
real fast here and extreme.
Yep.
I have got a belt sander with a disc on it, and I used to use it, and I never use it anymore. It's terrible. And all those things that you've been showing on the lathe are wonderful because you can control the speed. On the belt sander disc, it's just way too fast.
Yeah.
And you're going to get your fingers, you're going to get hurt.
And on the lathe, you got a bigger disc to work with too, so you don't
Any
have to
size you
finagle it
want
around.
and different things, yeah, it's much, much better.
Yeah, I was trying to use a belt sander and it just wasn't doing. I was getting it terribly uneven. I was thinking, might as well start over.
Now, you need a disc sander, but that disc sander on those belt sanders just goes too fast.
Yeah.
I had
I
lots
have
of
a 20-inch
Band-Aids
drum
from-
sander or disc sander. They're nice, but they're expensive.
They're very expensive. Yeah.
Oh,
I've
yeah,
got the
Johnson is real
disc
nice.
belt sander combination myself, and it sits down on the floor of my shop. I very seldom use it.
Same here.
I appreciate all the
Much
suggestions.
safer.
You ask and you shall receive.
That's right.
Sometimes you'll receive too much.
That's a fact.
Never too much.
Yeah. Did you make any updates to the web page, Dave?
Yes, we have some updates to the website.
Any new nuggets you want to
Basically,
share?
it's been moved all over the place, and I'll try to bring you some observations here if I can. Let me bring my website up. Actually, there aren't all that many incredible changes, but anything's worth commenting on.
They're
I
always
think.
incredible. They're always incredible.
All
When you
right.
make a change and the web page comes back up after making that change, that's a success.
Absolutely. I was quite unhappy with myself last night. As a matter of fact, I succeeded in complete.
So we got a question in chat from Rob wanting to know if anybody's ever made a hat rack for a cowboy hat.
Yeah, I just answered. The wig stands are really good examples. There's some really great wig stands out there. People have decorated and painted and wood burned and stuff, and those work really well for hats too. It's a good place to start. You can adjust your size as necessary.
Yeah, it'd definitely have to be a custom radius for the Stetson. So
Well, you just don't want something pointy because you don't want it putting holes in or distorting the hat shape.
yeah, you don't want to make it too big where it's going to stretch it out.
Yeah, I think the wig stands are like 6 inches in diameter or something, aren't they? The top bits.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, I just made one and it's 6 inches. I could show it to you if you want to see it.
Yeah, that'd be great, Ray. Why don't you show it to us?
Thing with the cowboy hat is it's not round, so
Yeah, but that little circle at the top of the wig stand for the wig is usually smaller than the inside of the cowboy hat, too. You know what I mean?
right, but it's more oval. It's not
Well, I
round.
understand, but I understand. Yeah.
I think most wig stands are 6 inches at the base and about 5 inches at the top.
Okay, I've got mine here.
Okey doke.
There you go.
Yeah, this is about 5 inches here and 6 inches down here.
Yeah.
And this is just made out of pine. But it's very smooth on top. And I used a Parfix 3408 on it because they probably will wash their wigs. And you
Right.
want something that, won't
Water resistant.
deteriorate with moisture.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Very cool, Ray.
And I've got our club making them now. What started me on it is I do have my nephew's wife just completed brain surgery for cancer. And so she's going to need this one shortly.
Okay.
Best of luck on her treatment.
Yeah.
She'll be in our,
Okay.
for a
Thanks,
hat,
Ray.
on the top, you could do off center on each side so that it would come out as an oval. Hello.
Yep. If you truly needed it, you could do that.
Yeah.
Good idea, Sue. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cedar would be a great choice, Rob. It'd have the dual purpose of keeping, make it smell good and keep the moths away, right?
Yeah.
Or you could just make a simple rack that you set the hat in upside down on your wall. Cursory view on the interweb there shows the majority of them being like that.
Are they just like?
Think of an oversized guitar rack. Except it
with
comes out
forks,
further.
pegs. I see.
Essentially,
I
it's
see.
forks coming out, and you set the hat down.
Well, I see that the ones that have like nicer hats have sort of a circular piece.
Yeah.
On a hook, like a disc that's like 4 inches in diameter or whatever.
It's just catching the top of the hat.
I really like the wig rack the wig stand that Ray showed. I really like the round surface because it's very gentle on things.
You could make the top for the wig stand, cut it in half, and add a block to the middle, and then shape it by hand sanding or filing to shape it to get your oval too, and still use your wig stand.
Yep.
Most of the guys that actually turn big hats, like Chris Ramsey and what's his name?
Right.
Mike Mickelson. Their hat stands are just with tops just like that wig stand. They're just round. They're just domed over round pieces about 5 inches in diameter that they put their hats on.
Yep, and the alternative is like a dual forked kind of deal where you put it on upside down, like Dane was saying. Yep. If you do a search on the interwebs for wood cowboy hat stand, you see all kinds of interesting options. So.
Oh yeah.
Here's an example.
Yeah, like I say, there's a lot of those things out there. So yeah.
All right. Well, with this, we'll call this the end of the official meeting. Have our demarcation point for the main meeting and the after hours.